The following podcast is part of the MindBodySpirit.fm podcast network. Step into a weekend of transformation at the San Diego Transcendence Retreat, September 19th and 20th at the beautiful Catamaran Resort in Mission Bay. Explore quantum consciousness and experience quantum love with world-renowned speakers like Daryl Anka channeling Bashar, near-death experiencers, ET contactees, and hypnotic regressionist. Relax with transcending meditations on the beach and soothing sound baths while connecting with fellow seekers on a deeper level. Discover new perspectives for your mind, body, and spirit. Visit SanDiegoTranscendenceRetreat.com for tickets and information.
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire. The human postponer. They were the master of one phrase. I'll circle back on that. But 3 months later, you are the one doing all their work and wondering how big that circle is. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can take the hiring load off your plate by automating the hiring busy work from the initial job post to scheduling interviews. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
Hi, I'm Lindsay, host of the Live Like Eden podcast. What do you do when your whole life flips upside down? Are you questioning everything, lost in chaos, or yearning for life's deeper meaning? I've been there, deep in the thick of it, unraveling my own awakening mess for over 20 years. Now I'm here to help you through yours. I share no-nonsense weekly wake-ups, cutting through the ego's illusions to wake you up to your own spiritual wisdom. No mountaintop bliss needed here, just practical tools, insights, and real-life experience to save you time. Plus, a much-needed laugh when we're all losing it. Let's dive into this fresh new episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. Today, I am joined by the lovely guest, Kim Costa. Kim is a global real estate advisor and home alignment strategist. She is also the founder of LifestyleFoundations.com, and she loves helping people make their environment who they are. She is the author of Live in Your Wheelhouse, and today she's here to tell us how to make a beautiful space, how to function in the space, and how to make our home support our ideal lifestyle. This is one of my favorite topics, to create a space that works, that functions, that feels good. I hope that you enjoy this conversation. I will link everything that Kim has to offer. She has some lovely free downloadable worksheets on her website. I will link it for you in the show notes. Sit back, relax, enjoy the conversation, and I will be back with you all next week. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. I am thrilled today to be joined by global real estate advisor and home alignment strategist, Kim Costa. Kim, thank you so much for joining me today.
Lindsay, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, I'm so excited because this is such a passion of mine, and I think you are going to offer so much inspiration for the listeners. So I'm ready to dive in and have you talk about the walls we're living in, right?
Good. It's an important topic.
It is. But before we dive into everything about living in your space, how do you buy the right house or rework a space? What is this space telling me about myself, right? When you start seeing all the things build up in the room, I love to start everyone off by sharing their own personal story. And I'd love to hear yours, how you got to be, where you are today as the founder of Lifestyle Foundations and helping people build wonderful spaces.
Well, good. Yes. I'm happy to talk about it. So I've been a realtor here in North Atlanta for 9 years now. And before that, I was in the controller accounting side of the residential design and residential construction industry for 27 years. So I've got to watch lots of people renovate and move and develop homes, thousands of people improve and buy homes. And so I've just tallied up a lot of stories and a lot of perceptions. And I've always been fascinated with people's potential. My parents were human resource executives. So that was sort of, part of my growing up years, listening to the both of them talk. And I love seeing a home's potential. So what I've tried to do is match a home's potential to a person's potential or a family's potential to make sure it's a good fit.
That's a wonderful thing. And like a lot of people don't realize there's a relationship between those things.
Absolutely. I see it over and over and over again. It's unconscious sometimes, and sometimes it's glaring. Then it's like, we have to move. This is horrible. We have to move. It's time to go. Yeah.
Well, I've moved about 13 times with my husband, so I know what that feels like. It's like, okay, we're ready to move on.
Time for a new phase.
Yeah. So I see that you won a contest from Oprah. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes.
Tell us about that. What happened there?
So, let's see, 2001, back Oprah was huge. I watched her daily and I would record it if I couldn't get home in time, from picking up my kids. At that point, I lived on a farm called Clarity Farm. And I fell off a horse because I'm not a horseback rider. I'm not good at it. I'm a golfer. I love yoga. I love my feet on the ground. Everything about golf, yoga, walking, and like weights. I just don't like to scuba dive and I don't like to be up high on anything. So I fell off the horse. I broke my back. And
Oh,
while I was home recovering, I wrote an essay to the Oprah Winfrey show because I love to write and I finally got back into it. And that pause helped me kind of reconnect with myself and what I like to do.
uh-huh.
But here's the thing is the show wanted to come film at my house and I told them no. Because I was on a walker. I was like, how am I going to get my house and myself and my family ready
Hmm.
and all my friends that were supposed to come over and film when I have a broken back? Like I can't drive. I can't do anything. I can't get
Yeah.
ready. So I told her no. And that was a huge missed opportunity at the time. But that's what really got me thinking about my life is so misaligned that I just told the Oprah Winfrey Show no. And I'm like barely able to walk. Like, what am I doing wrong here? So it really was about being in the wrong career, in the wrong relationship. I did eventually get a divorce years later, um, and in the wrong house and doing the wrong hobbies. I was a extrovert living at a remote location. So that started the wheels spinning that like, whose life am I living anyway?
Yeah. So tell us, I have one question. What
Yeah.
did you write the essay on? And you won. So what would you write about?
Yeah. Do you remember the Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood, the
Yes.
movie with all
Yep.
those great stars in it?
Yeah.
So there was a book out, and of course, Oprah had everyone read the book, and then the film was premiering, and she asked everyone to write a story or an essay about their friendship and how special it is. So I
Oh,
had just broken my back, and all my friends like swooped in and took my kids to school and brought meals and, did everything. So and it was kind of funny, some of the stuff that I wrote. Yeah. So anyway, that was what it was about. And then when I turned down the filming, a lovely woman who was recovering from breast cancer, they switched her into the winner role, and they got to sit on the front row, and we got to sit on the second row. And I was
oh.
like, oh darn that should have been us.
Do you like think of that moment and do you regret that or do you just see it as,
Gosh,
it got me where I am today?
I think I definitely see it as it got me where I am today. I definitely see it that way.
Because then you
Hmm.
took the step. So tell me about what did you do? Like, did you do introspective work? Like, how did you go about
Yeah.
fixing all these different parts of your life?
Well, it didn't happen all at once.
Right.
I took 15 years. So I went and I was sort of stuck, if you will, in an accounting role for a family business that we had. I took a little accounting to get a business degree, and I was like, I can do that. Quit a great job at Xerox, a coveted job at Xerox to just help run the family business. So I was like doing, you know, all the things that didn't really light me up. I'm not a left-brained
Yeah.
person. I'm a right-brained person, and I was doing that. And
Yeah.
so just little by little, I kind of lost myself. I was like, I'll do this for the kids, and I'll live here because my spouse wants to, and I'll do this hobby because that's what people do here. And I was like, where, like, I just completely disappeared. And
Yeah.
so the first inkling was the broken back, the telling Oprah no, the big house, the remoteness, being stuck there. I'm an extrovert. And then the exhaustion of driving everywhere I had to be. And so I insisted upon moving away from the farm and into the next county, which was right there. And so that started the moving to try to fix things.
Okay. So it just started the ball rolling by picking up
Started the
maybe.
ball rolling like I need to fix this. I'm not happy. And the farm was beautiful. I mean, it was Southern living worthy. It was gorgeous, but aesthetics aren't everything. So
Yeah.
that stuck with me. It's like the function of the home wasn't, it was overwhelming to me.
Right.
And so anyway, so gosh, like 3 moves later, ended up getting divorced because the compromise homes didn't work. And so I started off just switching my career, like maybe that will help. Like I'll still do what I'm doing, but I need to get out of the family business. We need a little space. And
Yeah.
maybe that'll like bring up my self-esteem, so to speak, and just doing something outside of what I've done for the past 25 years.
Yeah.
And so that started that. And then I got a little taste of that. And I was like, wow, I'm feeling better. And I just kept going. I got divorced. I changed my career. I took a personality test. Turns out I'm an ENFP on the Myers-Briggs scale, which is like your authors and creative people
Ah.
and people. And I was like, why am I sitting in a room crunching numbers? This is crazy. So that started the career change. And then that all my homes started changing. I was simplifying and studying to be a realtor. And slowly but surely, step by step, it took 15 years after I got divorced to get to this point. And so now I'm very much aligned.
Did you go become a realtor after that? And then you just start helping people that way? Is
I
that how you got
did.
to? Yeah.
I did. And so that the coach I had who knew my personality and coached that type of personality on what they should do for career and how to live their best life, right?
Right.
And so he had me fill out this wheel of life as I transitioned from being a controller to a realtor and
Mm-hmm.
making all these life changes. And I noticed that they went the quadrants or the spokes went up and down as I was making changes, and I was also moving
Ah,
sometimes. Then, when I started helping people as a realtor, I would classify them as, oh, this is a finance career move. They got a promotion. They can afford a bigger house or a nicer house. And oh, guess what? It's in Seattle, Washington, headquarters is. So they have to move.
yeah.
So I would start classifying people in one or two or three of the 8 areas.
Okay. And that's how
Yeah.
you created it. So you're basically learning by just watching.
Yeah. Listening, watching, observing.
And that brought you to now you've written a whole book, right?
Yeah.
Live in your wheelhouse.
Live in your wheelhouse. So it's based on the wheel of life and Maslow's hierarchy, because
Mm.
within each area of the wheel, there are 7 different needs that need to be fulfilled by the home. So, it's physiological needs like can you sleep? Is the water clean?
Mm.
Um,
Survival stuff. Yeah.
Survival stuff like is a fire going to burn the house down potentially? So that's serious. Safety needs, is the neighborhood safe, etc. Can you get up and down the stairs? And then love and belonging, like does your family come over? Do you have space to entertain? Esteem, are the is the neighborhood to your liking? Does your home fit in the neighborhood, or do you feel a little out of place? Do you fit in there? And then cognitive, can you learn anything from your home? And then aesthetics, finally, it's like your paint colors, your curb appeal, all that.
The pretty stuff.
The pretty stuff, which is mostly what people pick from,
They
but then
do.
they ignore all these other needs and they wonder, like, why am I sad? Why am I frustrated?
Oh, yeah. Well, let's get into that a little bit
Yeah,
then, now that you
let's
said
go.
it, because I had a little problem for a while where I couldn't stop watching hoarders.
Yeah.
I'm interested in this because one, I personally experienced a time in my life where I could not tolerate clutter at all. I had
Yes.
to literally, get rid of things. Too much color was driving me crazy, and so it was just this process. But as I watch hoarders, I'm really going, there's always an internal, issue. All those people have had something traumatic or something's
Hmm.
happened and then they're just hoarding. I mean, what do you
Yeah.
do with like how do you see this when you work with people?
Oh.
Maybe not on that level, but maybe you have come
Oh no,
across
I've
some
worked on
hoarding.
that level.
I would love to hear that level because it's interesting to me. Tell me about this. What happens to people?
I am extremely intuitive and I'm very empathetic. And while I see people's potential, I also see the barriers that have stopped them from becoming their best selves. That I don't know if I think it's a gift.
Yes, it would be.
I want the best for people, but I also see, gosh, if only that hadn't happened, or I wonder what's blocking them from being happy. Like I just
Hmm.
kind of pick up on things.
Yeah.
So without divulging too much, I did have a client who was really kind of like like the Depression era, really affected them way back in the day. And so that was when you couldn't afford food and maybe you didn't have a house or your parents experienced that and they would be saving plastic bags because you didn't know
If you're going to
when you
have
were
one.
going to need it.
Hmm.
And it became a scarcity mindset because they didn't have anything
Yeah.
when they were younger. And that created a trauma that then made them want to hold on to everything. I mean, everything,
Yeah. On like illogically everything.
illogically, everything. And I will not get into details, but the things that, because I was helping clear out the house and stage the home and get it painted and ready and spruced up and everything. And I would just find little things labeled in the house that you wouldn't even believe. And I won't divulge, all the things that they were, but just like, wow, wow, this is like from 1956. Unbelievable. And like Aunt so and so's garland from 1956. And I was like, wonder why we would save that. They probably forgot about it.
Well, if it's tucked away where you can't
It's
see
in a
it.
box behind five other boxes. So,
Exactly.
and I'm not trying to be facetious or laugh about it because what a lovely person. But there was some trauma there that prevented them from really enjoying their house because of a scarcity mentality.
Right.
Hmm.
Right. So how do we get out of the scarcity mentality? A lot of people do this. They hold on to a lot of things. Things
Yes.
like we're attached to things.
Yes.
And then I feel the opposite, where I
Mhm.
just keep it in my memory and I don't care about the objects so much.
Yes.
But how
That's
do you
good.
tell people to get, how do you instruct them or help them move through that?
Well, it's a very, very, very common problem. And I have hired organizational people to come in and try to help them clean things out. And kind of like Marie Kondo, like hold this, what does it mean to you? I have
Hmm.
no problem giving up a piece of clothing that's like, that was from 10 years ago. I'm not going to wear it. Or it has a weird memory,
Yeah.
or, or it's like the former me. It's got to go. But some people hold on to those things because this is what I wore when my son was 3 at his, christen, whatever it was, his school event or his big thing, and they just want to keep it, but it's 25 years old and they're
Yeah.
never going to wear it again. And so I think the biggest thing for people is pointing them in the direction of what is next for you. I know we need to sell the home. It's getting too much for you. The primary bedroom's upstairs. It's getting tough on your knees. Let's talk about what your next stage is going to look like. It's almost like you have to redirect people to the next good thing, the next phase of their life. And
Right.
this stuff can't come with.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. So many people are living in the past,
They
like
are.
completely living 25 years ago, 50
Yes.
years ago.
Yes.
It's really amazing, but that is so helpful because you're saying to people that's then, but let's look at where you're going, especially as people get older. I have older
Yes.
parents and you start questioning, well, are you going to need a main level master? And, how
Right.
high are the toilets? You get down to the
Yeah, I
details.
mean, you're not going to have a basement. So all that's got to go unless
Yeah.
you want to pay, a couple $100 a month for storage. So let's look at your finances. I know someone right now who has 5 storage units,
Wow.
and it's the kids are going to be left going through it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Five
Um,
storage units.
yeah.
Wow. But
Yeah.
they don't go visit it, or do they
No,
go over? That's what's so interesting is you don't even know it's there.
exactly. So bring the flag that your husband got for his military. Bring that. That's a special thing. That's going to find a place in your new home. Um, can the kids come pick anything up that you don't want?
Yeah.
And also grandma core is huge right now. Do you know what that is?
No, what is
Oh my
this?
gosh, the young people love the grandma core.
Grandma core.
Grandma core is like the knitted blanket. My grandma used to
Oh.
knit blankets.
Oh yeah.
The
Okay.
knitted blanket, the pretty bed cover with the delicate little print,
Oh
the
yeah.
the coverlet,
Yeah.
um, the hand sewn pillows, the needlepoint,
Mm-hmm.
all
My
those
grandmother had all
things.
that. Yeah.
Yes, the young people are snatching it up like crazy.
Really?
Yes.
What age group? Like what age?
20 somethings.
No kidding. I had
Yeah.
no idea. My kids
Yeah.
are in their early 20s, a couple of them, and I'm
Yes.
like, I've not seen this yet.
Yes. Well, once they get their own place, and I think part of it too, because multi-generational living is also coming in style, back in
Yeah,
style. And I think the young people are realizing that connection is really important, not just on your phone, but
right.
all this independence has not done many good things for our happiness scale in this country. We're falling yearly.
No, and there's a pressure there as kids leave the home that they have to go do it on their own and
Yes.
make it on their own and then almost break away from the whole family unit.
Yes, for their independence, right?
Yeah. I don't know what you feel about that, but I mean, I get it. Some people don't get along. I totally get where
Right. I
some
get that
families
too.
just, yeah, you can't be around each other.
Right.
But there is something too, like having the elders, and I talk about this a lot, that we don't listen to the elders anymore. We just put them in a
Right.
home. But
Yeah. So sad for everybody.
yeah, you mentioned multi-generational homes. It's like, could we keep mom and dad near us to help them as they
Hmm.
get, and then the grandkids get to learn about their grandparents. I think that's
Yeah. They,
amazing.
they they can make a family recipe in the kitchen that they never would have made.
Yeah.
And they'll hear stories, from their grandparents, and mom and dad get to go out to dinner
Yeah.
and, or like go on a little vacation.
And save the marriage, right?
Exactly.
I know, or
And then it
try
helps
to.
everybody financially because things
Yes.
that's getting tougher. So, I think it's coming back around. But for those people who have the clutter in their home and it's old, older stuff, don't think that it's kind of fun to think, oh my gosh, someone's going to love my needlepoint pillow. I have 20 of them. I only need to bring two. So I'm going to pick my two favorite and they're going to come with me for my couch or my bed or whatever, my favorite chair. And, and then, they don't have to be there when it's sold, but like people are going to snatch that up. They just don't realize.
Oh, how interesting. When you say grandma core, are you talking that they're taking their elders, the old stuff, and using it? Or is the younger generation actually doing needlepoint again?
They are so both. One of my clients owns a needlepoint store here in Sandy Springs, Georgia, just south of me. Every Thursday night they have a get together, like an in-store thing
Yeah.
where people come and they do their needlepoint, all 20 somethings.
Wow. It's funny. My grandma used to, when I was a young girl, she, would do that all the time. And she would sit
Yeah,
down and teach me I'd learned cross stitch, all that stuff, but I just never took it up. But
right.
I do have visions of like getting good at knitting, even though I'm terrible at it.
Yes. Well, it's just instead of picking up your phone or watching something on TV, I think a lot of people used to just sit and do that, what my grandmother would call handiwork. And it
Yep.
reconnects you with yourself instead of being, doom scrolling or eating something out of the fridge or watching something not so intelligent on TV. So I think it's a way to, kind of recenter yourself as well, like doing things in your home, invite a friend over, go down the street to the needlepoint store or whatever, like a mom's group and that's what women used to do. And I don't mean to go back in time and I'm definitely a modern woman, but I think there's something about that connection while you're creating something.
Absolutely. Well, it's that community feel that really is kind of lacking today,
Yes, very much.
very lacking. Can we dive a little bit more into your wheelhouse
Yeah, let's do it.
assessment? Let's talk
Uh-huh.
about give the listeners an idea of what you created. And I know you mentioned it a little earlier, but let's get into it a little more. Like, what are
Hmm.
all the areas and
Yeah.
explain it to us.
Okay, good. So the 8 areas are finance, health, environment, career, romance, fun and leisure, spirituality, and family and friends. And so of those 8 areas, normally people have prioritized a few, but then it's also important to look at the other areas because you want a whole balanced life. And look, people might say, gosh, spirituality, that's woo woo and that doesn't apply to me. But it could just be a matter of bringing some plants in your house and opening the doors or having somewhere to meditate or think or walking to your church, or some people walk to synagogue, whatever is important to you. And I think it's one of the areas that is overlooked, but very much missing in current lifestyles.
It is, and I have guests on all the time. We talk about this regularly. It's so missing.
It is.
And it's like, Why is that? I mean, what has
No
happened?
downtime, not a lot of downtime, too many distractions. It kind of went out of style a little bit for a while, but I think it's resurging.
It is. And I think, the making money is such a priority for everybody. And the
Yeah.
world has gotten so expensive. It's like, I'm sure most people's top priority is how am I going to earn money, and if
Hmm.
you've got a family, that's usually the first thing on a family's mind.
Absolutely. You got to clothe the children, get food on the table.
Yeah, you, they got to eat, you know.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's a physiological need. That's very
Yeah.
basic, right?
Right. So you built this wheelhouse and you mentioned you based it off of Maslow's
Yes,
principles. Can you just touch on that for a second? I haven't even
absolutely.
heard of that in years. I studied it years
It's
ago,
like
but
I think we all learned it in fifth grade, and
yeah.
but it stuck with me for some reason. And then I went back, heard it again in high school, and then I heard it again in college, and I was like, that's very interesting. So it's seven needs. So it's a triangle of rising needs. So the most basic needs are physiological, like sleep, food, water. And then you go up the next rung to safety needs. Like, do you feel safe in your home? Are there threats of hurricanes that may come? So it's something you have to think about and get storm windows. So you prepare your house for that. Belonging and love is the next one up. So do you feel like you're part of a family unit or a community that cares for you?
Hmm.
Esteem is the one, the need above that, or the next need up, and that's just is my house have good curb appeal? Does it match the other homes in the neighborhood? Do I feel like I belong in this community? That's a little bit below, but also esteem is, like, am I held in high regard?
Yeah.
Cognitive is, can I learn in this community and or house? Is there space for me to learn something new, to do my hobby, to work my craft, to master something? And then aesthetics, of course, are just, does it look pretty? And then the very top is self-actualization. So normally you're moving up. If you have a physiological need, normally you're not worried about learning something new. You're just
No.
very much concerned with this water can't get in my house.
Right. Yeah, you're just doing that and that's it.
Just doing that. Yeah.
So in this pyramid, are we talking that you're building, you have this level secure and then you're kind of
Mhm.
going up? Is
Yes.
it possible to be, I mean, how is it possible to be self-actualized if you're only, down concerned about your survival? Seems hard.
According to Maslow, it's impossible.
Seems like you're not even aware of
I
that.
think you could skip a few levels. Like, for example, if you are homeless, but you have the love and belonging of your family. So I think you can skip a level, I think, or a couple of levels, and you could learn something even if you're homeless or like at a down point, even though there's, a hurricane coming. You know what I mean?
Right.
You could distract yourself that way. But in general life, day to day or year to year, you're building one upon the other. And it's very hard to be self-actualized if you don't feel like anyone cares for you.
Right. And the other thing is, I mean, everybody defines those things differently.
They do.
What is survival to somebody on the street? They might be comfortable in that. A lot of people are. That's their safety net.
That's
Yeah.
right.
As
That's
opposed to, you and I are in a home, that's our safety net. So yeah, it is a matter
Mhm.
of how you define it.
Absolutely. And so Maslow's hierarchy, I take that in the system and apply it to each of the eight areas. So there's questions in the wheelhouse assessment that go all the way up for fun and leisure or entertainment. So like physiological might be, it makes it a little bit broader. Like, does your family have room to play outside? So that's a
Hmm.
physical need in the entertainment or fun and leisure area. Um, if your kids want to go outside and play basketball in the driveway, are they safe? Or are there going to be gunshots? So it's very serious stuff. But then as you get a little like aesthetic, oh, what color should we paint our sport court? It's getting really fun when you get up to those. So your goal is to go up, asking these questions and see what you're going to rate that area from 1 to 10. So
Hmm.
if you have a lot of safety issues in the home, or don't feel like you really belong in your whatever, people don't care for you in your area, you're ostracized for whatever reason,
Yeah.
then that's going to be like probably a 2 or a 3 out
Yeah.
of 10.
Yeah.
Step into a weekend of transformation at the San Diego Transcendence Retreat, September 19th and 20th at the beautiful Catamaran Resort in Mission Bay. Explore quantum consciousness and experience quantum love with world-renowned speakers like Daryl Anka channeling Bashar, near-death experiencers, ET contactees, and hypnotic regressionist. Relax with transcending meditations on the beach and soothing sound baths while connecting with fellow seekers on a deeper level. Discover new perspectives for your mind, body, and spirit. Visit SanDiegoTranscendenceRetreat.com for tickets and information.
Running a small business means I wear lots of hats. When I put on my hiring hat, I can count on LinkedIn Hiring Pro to make it easy. LinkedIn Hiring Pro helps manage my hiring workflow, puts my job post in front of a unique network of professionals, and matches me with the best candidates for my business. I can also share my job with my network. No other job site lets me do that. No wonder most small businesses say they'd use LinkedIn Hiring Pro again. Hire right the first time. Post your job for free on LinkedIn today at linkedin.com/quality.
This episode is brought to you by San Pellegrino Ciao. A gift from Italy to your home. San Pellegrino Ciao is a flavored sparkling water made with real fruit juice, finished with a pinch of Sicilian salt for a perfectly balanced taste. So which flavor will you choose? Peach, lime, blood orange, cherry, or maybe the all-new limoncello? Crafted in Italy with 0 grams of added sugar. San Pellegrino Ciao. Buy it now.
So you use this when you work with clients, yes? Do
Yes.
you go through it? And what's your experience with how successful it is for people that find the right place? Or is it possible to just redo the space that they're in?
Yes. So the book, Live in Your Wheelhouse, the subtitle is An Empowering Guide to Stay, Go, or Reno. So not everyone is always moving. In fact, it's hard to move. It's one of the top 3 stressors of our lives. So if we don't have to, let's not do that. It's expensive. So if you could stay, it just means like the bones of the house are good. The location is good. Like the school system, it's a good commute to the airport for work. And we enjoy the little concert hall down the street, all the things.
Yeah.
So you going around and it's like a 8s and 9s and maybe a 7 here and there, but it's not in a top priority. You can live with it. So you're going to stay. But then reno might be love the home, having another set of twins, only have 3 bedrooms. So we're going to add on to the back or make another wing, like finish out the garage and put another bedroom above and then create another garage attached to that to make our actual home bigger. That's a big renovation. Or it might be just repurposing a room.
Right.
My kids have gone to college. They're no longer here. They're across the country. I go visit. They don't come here very often. I'm now running a podcast. I'm going to repurpose a room and I'll still keep 2 guest rooms for whoever comes. But one of these bedrooms is now my podcast room because I reinvented myself.
So you took one of your children's rooms and built a podcast.
Actually, no, I moved in with my my husband. We got married 5 years ago. So neither one of us kept our family home. And so we have a beautiful cottage and he had like a Christmas tree in here and I was like, that's going to be my office. He had like a bunch of storage. I said, that can go down the hall. This is now my room.
Oh, well, you just gave me a lovely idea because my kids are starting to go to college. I have 2 in college and twins.
Nice.
You mentioned twins. I did that, had twins and had to take a space in our house. We didn't have another bedroom, but we had a loft area, little open room in the back of the upstairs. And we just put a door frame and made a bedroom, made a closet. And then
very nice. That's brilliant.
And that wasn't overly hard, and it's nice to have a brother who does remodeling for a
there
living.
You go.
So that helps. Yeah. And doing the work is always fun too. But talk about like people that want to make change in their life. And the environment is such a great place to start because I don't think we realize how affected we are by the space that we're living in. What can people do if they don't have a big budget? Like renovation is not on the table right now. What simple things can you do to just kind of move the energy or make the space feel uplifted again?
Yes. Well, we already talked about clutter. I mean, that cluttered space sometimes brings upon a cluttered mind, and that's stressful. So it's, I actually have something called a lifestyle lift assessment that's really simple. You just print it out from my website and you walk around your house and you just go through each room like, oh gosh, I forgot the Pelotons. I haven't used that thing in 3 months and now there's laundry on it or whatever. And it's like, doesn't look great in my guest room. I just go to the gym because I'm an extrovert. And so you just mark that down. Like that's like for entertainment and fun and health, like I don't even use that. And so you just note to self, what should I do with that? And then you go to the next room and it's the dining room. And it's like, oh gosh, I can't really fit my all of my family in here anymore. Or it could be conversely, like I never even use this. My husband and I just eat at the kitchen counter because it's just the two of us.
Yeah.
So like
Right.
I want to keep it for the holiday when people come in town. But you know, maybe it shouldn't doesn't need to be the biggest room in the house. Maybe you flop it with the living room or make another kind of eating space. So it's just a matter of you don't have to do a lot. It could be a matter of just cleaning out clutter.
Right. Well, and that makes the energy feel so different. You mentioned you're highly intuitive about this stuff. So, can
Hmm.
you share anything about when you walk into a house?
Mm,
And I've felt this before, but
yes.
when you walk in and immediately it's just stuck. I mean, it's
Yes.
almost stagnant. And share something about that. And then or if you've helped people work through that. And a lot of times it's unspoken stuff, not
Okay,
even
this is
physical.
kind of a creepy story. Is that
Oh,
okay?
good.
A
I
little
love creepy.
creepy. I like creepy if it's not around me.
I know.
Well, I was doing this open house long, long, long ago when I first started out as a realtor. Beautiful home. Folks had a lot of money. I walked in the house. It was not my listing. I was just getting going, so I was like learning the ropes, and I was like, "Oh, this is such a pretty house." I met the wife. Husband was out of town, and she just seemed very timid. And the house was really pretty and beautiful and aesthetically very pleasing, but I just got this weird feeling that like something's going on here.
Hmm.
And so I was not meaning to be snoopy, but as I'm going around after I'm just kind of looking at photos because I'm waiting for people to come. Isn't hardly busy. And I was like, oh, that's nice. They look, they seem happy. And so I was going to put something away and I open up a cabinet on the far side of the house because it was like a little ajar.
Hmm.
So I was like, oh, I'll just push whatever that is in and close it so that people aren't, or was someone snooping around up here during the open house and I didn't see it? Like, oh gosh, I hope not. Well, lo and behold, there on the shelf were all these books about being married to a narcissist
Oh no.
and how to divorce a narcissist and all this stuff. And I was
Oh
just like,
wow.
oh, I know what it is now.
You
And
felt it coming
I
from her.
felt the weirdness. I felt the bad juju.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
funny. Yeah, and so you probably didn't say anything to her,
of course
honestly.
not. She got home and I was like, I'm like praying for her, poor
Right.
thing, little teeny thing, and I was like, oh, is the poor. I could feel her angst,
Mm.
and and I just was like, this is none of my business. I'm just gonna say a little prayer for her, but like you can feel what's going on in a house sometimes.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be physical clutter either.
This house was immaculate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You mentioned it was beautiful, but you still
Hmm.
felt it. So, how much of, when you say a space gets cluttered, I mean,
Yeah,
we're cluttering the space. So,
we are. Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't just happen on its own. So, it's always a sign, like if anybody listening, you're looking at your room and it's getting uncomfortable, might be a sign to say, hey, what's going on in me that's
Hmm.
creating this space? And you talk about mirroring in the work you do. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. Well, so I think too, if you've ever seen a house that has had some deferred maintenance, like the shutter's crooked or there's some little slats missing on it, and it's like, gosh, it's been like that for a year. I mean, what's going on over there?
Right.
Or in that home, it's like, gosh, or you just like the weeds are getting higher. Is it a health problem?
Uh-huh.
There's something wrong because your home is your reflection of you. And so if there's a lot of deferred maintenance or there's a lot of clutter or the shades are drawn and you walk in and it's really dark and they're just kind of hiding in there
Yeah.
or depressed, which is sad. Um, you can feel it, you can see it. There's like no brightness, there's a dead plant in the corner, and it's just like this person gave up. And what
Yes.
can we do? Can we open the blinds? Here, let me bring you a new plant. Let me water it. Let's
Yeah.
just bring some life back in here because your environment then feeds the depression.
Yeah.
And I think anxiety especially is cured by a little bit of action. Like I'm so anxious about my kids going off to college or this my us moving or my husband's sick or whatever it is. But just getting one thing a day. Like I'm going to trim the plants today, or I'm going to put some flowers at my front door, or I'm going to, all those unpaid bills, I'm going to organize them in my desk or in a planner for like when they're due, and just so I don't have to look at them, but, or put a tickler on my phone and just get them out of my sight. Just, and then that one thing is like, I took an action. And then
Right.
you feel a little relieved just by taking that action. One load of laundry, fold it and put it away. Okay, I did it.
You're speaking to something too that, especially when people get depressed or a traumatic event or something awful has happened and it just
Mhm.
puts you in this cocoon, right?
Yes,
I mean, you
yes.
feel like a cocoon and you can't get out of it.
Hmm.
But yeah, taking something actionable to just make yourself feel better is where it starts. I'm
Yeah.
somebody who walks down the stairs in the morning, and the
Hmm.
first thing I do, and you can ask my husband and my kids, I pull the blinds up everywhere
Yes,
immediately. That's the first
yes.
thing. I won't even sit. I won't get a coffee. I won't do anything till those blinds are up. Yeah.
Yeah, the morning daylight is so important.
Mm-hmm.
And two, I don't want to imply that people who are grieving shouldn't take the time to grieve. And I think the home should be your cocoon to recover from things.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, it can really turn into a depression if you're not opening the blinds, bring some plants in, just get out to meet someone for coffee, invite them over, and just sit and talk with a cup of tea. Taking a little bit of action.
Right. Well,
Hmm.
turning on some good music or,
Music,
opening the windows, get some
healthy
fresh air,
food, bring
you
some
know?
herbs in.
Yeah.
Plant a little pot with some basil, make
Yeah.
some pasta. I mean, anything.
Anything to liven it up. I always think of it as the energy is going like low and dense.
Yes,
And how do we pick it up? How do we
that's
do
right.
that?
Because it can just get worse and worse, and then you have to kind of catch yourself before you get too ingrained in the spiral.
Oh yeah, like I had when my daughter was a teenager, she was classic, just shit all over the place, right? I
Yeah.
mean, literally clothes on every square inch of the carpet. We've got food bag. I mean, it was just a disaster zone.
Pretty common.
Oh, I know. And I'm like,
But still.
but I was noticing though in that environment was also reflecting her behaviors and what she was doing
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
feeling not so great all the time. And I was like,
Right.
I'd go in there and she didn't even know where to start. That's part of the problem. People that have that mind
So
that's just
overwhelming.
cluttered in the mind, they don't even know how to get out of it. So I just was like, you make piles. We need to clean this. This is the trash section is here.
Yeah.
This needs to be hung up and this needs to go into the laundry. So just start
Yes.
there,
Yes.
breathe some life back in here,
Yeah. And then as you're cleaning up, there's the cereal bowl. Oh my gosh, I've been looking for that.
Well, where's all my silverware, by the way?
It's all upstairs.
It's all upstairs. Well, it's funny when you implement things like that in your life, and if you have other people that you're living with, whether it's whoever it is,
Hmm.
it kind of rubs off on them. I've noticed a couple of my kids, they just do that. They just clean out and they go in, and I don't even ask them to do it. They just do it.
Yes. They
So,
probably feel better
oh, and they do.
because they can find the pair of jeans they want to wear and they're not
Right.
on a crumpled heap on the floor that need to be
Right.
washed.
Exactly. So I want to ask you a question. A listener friend of mine asked me recently if I've heard of, I want to get this right, neuroarchitecture, like neuroarchitecture. Have you
Oh,
heard of that?
neuroarchitecture. No, but I'm fascinated.
Well, it's about the study of the actual science of the brain and how it affects, your environment is affecting brain and, your emotions and your behaviors.
Oh,
It sounds like you're an intuitive type. So for you're
yes.
feeling it.
I actually read a lot about that. I just haven't heard it called neuro
Neuroarchitecture. I
architecture.
hadn't either. So I looked it up and I'm like, oh, this is cool. It's exactly what you're
Very
doing.
cool. Yes, yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is. And I probably have three or four studies that are design or architecture in my book, but I just didn't have a label for it. That's a good label.
It is. And what's interesting about it is, I think I like simplicity. I don't know how you
Yeah.
are, but I
Yes.
really benefit from getting this very simple space.
Mm-hmm.
My husband and I, leased a Tesla last year, and I was impressed with the simplicity of the
Yeah.
car. And I
Nice.
was like, this is great. There's no buttons. It's just the screen. And I know some people don't like that, but I was like, wasn't sure how it would be, but it's the
Yeah.
cleanest, most, you feel fine in the car because
Yeah.
it's not, there's not a million things in there.
I don't even know what half the buttons in my car do.
I
I don't.
know. That's so true. Yeah. But I think today there's so much, when you talk about distractions, we're living in a distracted, stimulating world,
Yeah.
right? You go into a big city and there's screens everywhere. We're watching
Mm-hmm.
television down the street. And the space to me is cluttered, even in the city. It can't breathe. There's no space anywhere.
I agree.
And when you said that you moved from a farm, you
Mm-hmm.
know, what is your experience living that life, in the beginning to now? Like, what's the difference and what did you learn living in the open space that you can bring to the spaces we're living in today?
Yes. Well, so the first thing that I learned is whoever said the country is quiet has not lived in the country because because the frogs in the pool are deafening. The coyotes that run through at night chasing whatever animals they're chasing,
Hmm.
horrifying.
Yes.
The the horses calling to each other, the dogs that are barking, the cows down the street,
Hmm.
the wind, the geese flying over, which is all sounds quite lovely, but there's something going on like all the time. The wind howling up the hill, there were like prehistoric bugs. I was like, it's a stick bug. I've never seen a stick bug. The possum crawling up on the porch. It's like you think that it's just like, oh, it's like, no, there's some critters in the barn. The horses down the street.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, the mailman missed my house. It's just like you think it's very peaceful, but like someone's got to muck out the stalls. Guess what? It's a resort, but you're working on the resort. So what I learned is that more stuff is not necessarily peaceful because there's a snake in the pool.
Yeah.
There's,
It's so true.
if I turn on the waterfall, what's going to come out of there? Is it going to be some kind of lizard or a frog and kids don't stand under the waterfall. Let me run it and let's see what comes out first.
Well, I think people have these like, very fantastical ideas that I'm going to move to the country and it's
Yes,
going to be so, like you said, so much more peaceful. It just comes with a whole nother set of issues.
it does. It's just like, I had I had a beautiful barn and a pavilion and a zip line and a kitchen window that overlooked the pastures and a wrap around porch and all that little garden over here. And I put what do you call a hammock between two trees where it was like you could see everything. And I was
Yeah.
like, this is where I'm going to relax.
Yeah.
I can't remember ever getting in that.
It's
I would
good
look
for a
at it while I
picture.
was doing dishes from my window, like one day I'm going to lay in that hammock.
It looks nice, but I don't know what it
It's
feels
super.
like.
And I would watch the kids like treat it like a swing. And I was like, that's so fun. Let me finish these dishes and then I'll go out there,
Yeah.
because everything was so far away. Like I had to like an hour to the grocery store so it was like, wow, this is a lot.
Yeah. I know. I sometimes think that I think it would be fun to like live in the space, but I'm like, I kind of like a coffee shop. I like just going.
Yes, I could walk to a coffee shop. I could walk to lunch right now.
Yeah.
Everything's really close and it's still very, very beautiful. It's not that far from me. I'm kind of like in the middle of three towns now. But if you like solitude and you like routine and that's your personality, it is not mine. I learned that the hard way. What I learned is that scenario is not for me. There are my former spouse likes that scenario. He loves a routine. He's a little more introverted. And so that is where he still is in that area on acreage. And he and his wife, who's lovely, they really enjoy that.
Yeah.
My husband and I are more extroverted and I don't care for a routine. My husband's a little more routine oriented, which is good.
Yeah.
Um, so we've fashioned our environment around that. Like he gets me to the gym and I get him to a new place for dinner. So that's how we operate.
Yeah. Well, that's lovely. I have to share with you this because do you find this today where people are turning their spaces as they get older, like you're saying, to accommodate your lifestyle,
Yeah.
basically? So
Yes.
my husband and I recently celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary,
Nice.
and
Congratulations.
thank you, we went on a cruise, a brand new boat that had this amazing thermal suite, like thermal spa suite.
Oh,
We were
nice.
like, we're doing it. We're splurging. We're going to go every day. But it had this amazing steam room and all these different old saunas, like based from the past, not like infrared, not the new light stuff. It was like a
Mm-hmm.
Finnish sauna,
Mm-hmm.
clay sauna, all
Mm.
this these natural elements. And then it had a salt room and all the pools. It was amazing. And I came home and I was like, I know what we're doing. When the kids are gone, we're renovating a basement or a new house or this house, and we're going to make like a thermal suite down there.
People are doing that.
Wouldn't that be fun? Are they doing it?
Yeah, they are. They are. I just was on a podcast with someone and she sells like the saunas and all those kind of things. I can't remember. It's like lifestyle, but it's like that kind of lifestyle and putting it in your home.
Yes.
And so I've been seeing a lot more homes recently. We live in a nice area. And so I've
Hmm.
been seeing a lot more infrared saunas.
Yeah.
And then when the people are moving out, they don't take it with them because it's literally brought in and assembled in the house. And so you can't really move it easily. So they just sell it with the house. And it's a big selling point.
Oh, absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. My husband and I renovated our current home. For people that are listening and you like changing your space, we had a dining room and a living room and another living area, a bunch of living spaces on the main floor. And I'm like, we're not going to use all that. So we moved the dining room forward and turned the dining room, which is off the kitchen, into a cafe. So it's our
Oh, nice.
coffee area. So there's espresso in there, machine,
Oh,
and
I
we kind of made it
love
look
that.
like a little cafe. There's like a bench and yeah, we did the work. It's really cool. And I thought, I just had a vision. I don't know how you are, or anybody listening,
Yeah.
but using your visual skills when you're in a space and then trying to
Yes.
create it is so much fun. Yeah.
It is. I'm going to be adding a scullery, cutting my dining room in half and
Uh-huh.
creating a door into it for a scullery for more. I love to entertain.
Oh,
And
wow.
then some different seating and then adding on some more like a different eating area on the back of the house that's
Okay.
bigger. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So
Yeah.
fun. Well, as we wind down today, it's been so fun talking to you. I'd love to give you the last, word to share where we can find you. I know you've got a lot of free offerings on your website, your book, and then maybe something you just want to share with the listeners to just inspire them to, how their environment and how they are as a person, there's a relationship there. What would you like to share?
So I can be found, my website, which you can find everything that I'm doing is lifestylefoundations.com. You can get the book, Live in Your Wheelhouse there, some speaking gigs coming up. And then I think the thing I want to share with everybody is it's never the wrong time to be more of who you were made to be. You could be first starting out and getting married, and I would say to those folks, really hold on to who you are. Don't let time and obligation take away everything that you love doing, and don't make so many sacrifices that you disappear. I think that's what a lot of men and women, it happens to a lot of men and women in the middle of their life
It
because they're
does.
just performing. And then as you get towards the end, and your children are leaving, your career is winding down, it's again never too late to be who you were meant to be or who you want to be in this next stage of life. And so I would ask people just to, maybe take the assessment, which starts with who are you, and then you develop the environment around that.
Well, I think I'm going to take the assessment because I'm in the stage of, yeah, that transition where the kids are kind of growing out of the house. And
Yes.
yeah, I'm so looking forward to the future. And if anybody listening, I think one thing I've learned, what I'm summing up from hearing from you today is that instead of looking at the past, let's
Hmm.
look at where I am and where I'm going and how I can make my environment mirror that. And I think that's a great thing that you're doing. So thank you, Kim, for being here today. And please come back anytime.
I sure will.
That's it for today's show. Thanks so much for listening. If it resonated, please share, follow, and drop a review with your takeaways. It really means a lot. Visit my website at livelikeeden.com to subscribe for weekly reminders and blogs, or sign up for a free 30-minute consult to explore one-on-one guidance sessions if you're really struggling in Awakening's darkness. Take my Awakening quiz to get a personal podcast playlist that meets you exactly where you're at. See you next week for another deep dive.
What if the miracle you've been praying for has already brushed against your life? On Real Life Angel Encounters, I share powerful, true stories from everyday people like you who have experienced angels in the most extraordinary ways. From impossible rescues and after-death visits to messages from loved ones and miraculous interventions, these encounters remind us we are never alone. I am Christy Clemens Hoffman, and I invite you to listen, feel inspired, and maybe even recognize an angel story of your own.
The right window treatments change everything. Your sleep, your privacy, the way every room looks and feels. At Blinds.com, we've spent 30 years making it surprisingly simple to get exactly what your home needs. We've covered over 25 million windows and have 50,000 five-star reviews to prove we deliver. Whether you DIY it or want a pro to handle everything from measure to install, we have you covered. Real design professionals, free samples, zero pressure. Right now, get up to 50% off with minimum purchase, plus get a free professional measure at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions apply.